Yo guys, Coach Theo here on Common Sense. Today I'm going to give you 4 different ideas to be able to eat 4,000 calories without getting fat. And I had this idea because I'm actually currently trying to, well, not get fat, but I'm trying to gain weight. I'm bulking, trying to put on muscle mainly, but of course you can always expect to put on a little bit of fat at the same time. But I'm actually struggling to gain weight eating almost 4,000 calories. You see the veins are around the abs, still quite defined. And the number of the scale is just creeping up very slowly. And of course this seems like a luxury problem, and this situation is only beneficial to eat specifically when bulking. It's a little troublesome having to eat so much. But so I figured, since most people have the opposite problem, how can I reverse engineer it, get to the bottom of like, what things is it that I've implemented that makes it this way for me? Because again, it's not because I'm eating a lot, I have a good appetite. It's not that I have a poor metabolism and eat like a little child or something. So I figured, let's reverse engineer it, come up with the reasons I'm in this position so that you can use it to get lean, get those abs, but actually be able to stay there easily like I do. So here we go. The first 2 things I'll take together because I'm going to talk about how to achieve them, and both have to do with fasting. So the first 2 things is eating real food only, minimizing or completely removing or minimizing the processed stuff, the junk, and eating on a lower eating frequency. And eating on a lower eating frequency, what I mean isn't necessarily these more extreme like intermittent fasting routines, like just eating 1 meal per day, but I'm gonna get to that later. So first of all, of course, it's easier said than done for a lot of people to stop with the junk food, the processed stuff when you're there, but prolonged fasting is the fastest way there, because going away from food completely for days, it's the fastest way to resynthesize the dopamine receptors that are connected to your taste buds. And to make that clear, what it means is that you will start, it's like putting on glasses if you haven't been able to see for a long time. With regular whole foods, you'll now have access to things in the taste that you didn't, that you lost. And doing enough of this, fasting and refeeding on whole foods, you'll start to enjoy the whole food so much that you don't really miss the other stuff, because you know this would just ruin it for me. So you can use prolonged fasting with good refeeds on whole foods to get there, so you're able to eat almost exclusively whole foods. And then with a low eating frequency, it's just that if you do something like eating 3 meals in an 8-hour eating window, for instance, and I recommend to a lot of people, and you get rid of this habit of snacking too, it's just hard to overeat. It's very hard to get into a position when you're eating real food, you're never really snacking, and you don't really think about eating, because you have the habit that when I eat, I sit down to have a proper meal. I don't go snacking on stuff in the meantime. So you see, eating real food, it's too, by the way, with the whole foods, apart from, like, it's so much I want to say really, like the whole foods, there is such a thing as nutrient partitioning. I always take this extreme example to make the point that now, if I ate the same amount of calories I do now, but I just started eating donuts only, I would lose muscle and gain fat, because I'm not eating any protein, I'm just eating carbs and fat. And then I'm going to eat more than I need, and I'm going to get fat. So there is such a thing as, like, calories in, calories out, like broadly it matters, but there is such a thing as the quality of the food matters. The body will be able to use higher quality food more efficiently, but also, of course, these junk foods, they are also easier to overeat on, like just in the moment, but they don't keep you satiated. They're often low in protein and high in carbs and fat. So like eating, for instance, the same amount of calories of meat and potatoes, that would just keep you happy and satiated for much longer than just eating some junk, some donuts or some French fries or whatever. So you see, eating real food, the body uses it better. Less will go to fat, more will go to like actual processes in the body and putting on muscle, and that you will stay more satiated. And if you have this habit of, when I eat, I don't really snack, this all together will just make you a person that very easy to stay lean. So that was 1 and 2 together, because they were connected to fasting. The third thing would be to put on a good amount of muscle mass. All these things in this video, I really just want people to understand. Like putting on muscle, even if it has never been your thing, that, oh, I'm a bodybuilder, or you're a woman, you think it's not for you to build muscle, you think that walking on the cardio machines or something is what females do, or whatever. But the thing is, muscle mass, it just doesn't just look pretty and make you strong. No, it will actually help with insulin sensitivity, which of course, by the way, the fasting will do as well, will make you more stable so you don't crave food or you get these dips. Muscle mass will help with that too. But mainly in this scenario, it is that the more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting metabolic rate is. Muscle mass, just having more muscle mass, makes you a machine that just runs on higher fuel. To put it simply, you will burn more energy even as you sleep, not just as you move. So having a good amount of muscle mass, that it's just going to eat a lot of the food for you. Okay, and of course, how you do this, I have training videos. I put out the longer presentation of my style of bodybuilding, Uncommon Sense bodybuilding full guide. You can see that. But of course, what you do is you go to the gym, you hit weights hard, you progressively overload, and you eat enough protein, maybe in a calorie surplus, depending on who you are. If you're a person that's struggling to get lean, you probably don't have to. You probably can eat around your maintenance, eat protein, smash your workouts, and progressively overload. But of course, hopefully you know some about how to do this already, but I have more content about that. So the last thing would be to just move more. The easiest way would be walking, but people don't realize, a lot of people, it's like, what a lot of people's like regimen looks like is, now I overate, now I have to run or something, I have to run to keep up with the shit I'm eating and that. Of course, we want to have fixed with the other tips so we don't really eat that much shit. But instead of having to feel like we have to put in more extra stuff, like I go to the gym and now I have to do a bunch of cardio to burn more fat. But if you just move more, that's the beautiful thing with movement and burning energy. It's not that you have to exert so much effort all the time. It's just the more general movement you accumulate, the higher your metabolism. And the easiest way really is to do more walking. So the more you can find in your day, I always talk about that. I think walking is good because it doesn't have to be something extra you do. Yeah, this is just great timing with the ambulance. But it's not something extra you have to do, but it can be an instead of. Like for instance, if you take a bus that takes 20 minutes to your job or something, well, if you leave a little earlier, maybe you can, like in 35 minutes, take a walk there. And of course, walking has many other good health benefits, like it's good for recovery, it's good for blood pressure, even a little cardiovascular effect just from walking. But so, and of course, then you can just implement shorter walks. That's actually also something long walks are great, but if you can sprinkle out, one good advice from Stan Efferding, Vertical Diet, is to get at least 3 10-minute walks in a day. So you could have a short one in the morning, one in the middle of the day and one in the evening. If you can't naturally, implement it as a means of transportation, like I talked about, switching a bus ride for walking or something, that's at least a good minimum goal for that. But walking is just a good example of this. Like really, any movement you can come up with. If you live like me, I live close to an outdoor gym. You can go out, take a little break. If you work at home like I do, I of course move and work out a lot, but just to take an example of a setting, you could just go out and hit a little outside workout. That doesn't have to be that hard. Because again, when we're talking about burning energy, it's not that you have to train so freaking hard all the time. It's just that you have to be moving. The less you're just sitting on your ass still, doing nothing like that, the better for your metabolism. So all these things together, I figure out, that's really what makes it so that I stay lean so very, very easily, and I even have trouble gaining weight when I'm not someone with a poor appetite or something, eating so very, very much. And this is the thing, guys. A lot of people, they think, I need to go on this weight loss plan. I have this goal of losing weight. And of course, you can do it that way. It's nothing wrong with it. But so many times, if someone who is like, that has a little bit too little muscle, they have a bit too much fat, and they don't really do much of these things now, if you just focus on getting these habits down, like, okay, I need to eat real food, I need to eat a good amount of protein, I eat on a kind of a low frequency, I hit the weights and I get stronger in the gym, and I try to just increase my activity, you would, if you just kept improving on these things, you would kind of even out. Like you would maybe not get as lean as your goal would be if you want to be really have very defined abs or something, but you would get to definitely to like a healthy level. You would just even out from this. A lot of people, they would benefit a lot from not being just like, I have to lose this amount of kilos in this amount of time or something. And instead of having the goal and then what can I do to reach that, it's like, no, I have the goal of implementing these habits, and a result would just come of its own on that. And then when you reach a certain level there, then maybe you start like, now I actually want to focus on cutting, getting really lean, or now I'm going to take a break and I'm going to bulk and put on more muscle. But this is of course what I work with clients on. You have to create a system, you know, for how you're going to be implementing these things, what you're going for. Make it as easy as possible when these things aren't habits. Create a system that's as easy as possible for you to follow now until you get there. And then of course having the external accountability of having invested in yourself and having someone with a similar result that you want for yourself by your side, all of that will of course help as well. So if you're interested in coaching, you can send me a direct message on Instagram or email me. It's all in the description below. I'll get back to you, tell you about the answers. And please like and comment. All comments and likes help support the channel, helps more people see it, so it's very much appreciated. And please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, spirituality, mindset. It is a mindset, guys. Eat a lot and stay lean. I don't know, that's not really a mindset. I didn't have a good one. Okay, I'll just go. Peace.